Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, and every single month I do a budgeting video where I share my exact budget with you to try and help you figure out this budgeting thing, because I know sometimes it can be so overwhelming, especially if you're just getting started. Now, before we hop into my budget and take a look at the numbers, I just want to take a moment to quickly review a couple of items that you should think about including in your December budget. First one is Christmas and holiday items. Obviously, if you don't already have your shopping complete, like yours truly, and you haven't already prepared and put all of the money aside that you're going to need for the entire holiday season, you definitely want to be making room for that in your December budget. Sit down, create a plan, come up with exactly how much money you need, and then make sure you're prioritizing that in your budget. If you're not sure how to get started planning out your holidays, I have a holiday budget planner you can download. It is completely free. Just head to the link down in the description box and you can grab yours when you're done watching this video. Now, the next thing you want to consider is New Year's. Personally, when I plan out my holiday budget, and if you are going to use my holiday budget planner, you will probably include New Year's in that entire plan, because I cover all of the holidays at one shot. That's just what I found works best for me. But if you don't do that, or you have your own system of planning and budgeting things out for the holidays, make sure you are including any New Year's celebrations, festivities, anything you need to purchase. Now, I know New Year's celebrations might be a little different this year, and that's okay, but the odds are if you're planning on celebrating in any way, you'll probably be spending at least some money. So again, just make sure that's something you're paying attention to when you are planning out your December budget. The next thing to pay attention to would be spring sports if you have children. We just finished up our fall season here, and already I got the email that we have to go ahead and sign up and pay for spring sports before the end of December. So if you have children and they are involved in sports and you know they're going to be playing sports in the spring, that is something else that you want to make sure you're planning ahead for. And the last thing I have to mention is Valentine's Day. I know it feels super early, but if you are somebody who spends a lot of money on Valentine's Day, maybe you go all out for your kids, or maybe you and your spouse or your partner take a trip each year or go out to a fancy dinner to celebrate, that's something that you can plan ahead for. Instead of having to come up with all the money in February, try breaking it down and saving a little bit in December, a little bit in January, and a little bit in February, and it's going to make it so much more digestible for your budget. All right, guys, leave me a comment and let me know if you plan for any of those expenses in your December budget, or if there's anything I forgot. What's something else that you usually plan for in your December budget that I forgot to mention? And while you're at it, I would love if you would give this video a thumbs up. That's such a compliment to me and lets me know that you are enjoying my videos. Let's go ahead and jump into my actual budget. Hey guys, Editing Kristen here. I just wanted to let you know I had a couple of issues with filming this and the quality's not so great. Unfortunately, I ran out of time to redo it, so I hope you can bear with me through this budgeting video. We are here in my budget, and as you know, I don't budget from November 1st to November 30th. I budget every single paycheck by itself, and I budget basically 2 paychecks a month. So as you can see here, we are going to first budget paycheck number 1 of the month, which came by the time you will see this video on November 24th, and then that is going to take us all the way until December 7th. Our next paycheck comes on December 8th, and that is going to carry us all the way until December 21. So this is kind of a weird pay month. There's more than an entire week at the end of December here that will then technically fall into our January budget. When you're budgeting using this method, sometimes you're budgeting really half of one month and half of another, but try not to let that confuse you. If you feel as though this paycheck budgeting method is working better for you, just stick with it. So today I'm technically budgeting the whole last week of November and the first 3 weeks of December. So everything in pink is going to be covered in our first paycheck, and then everything in orange is going to be covered in our second paycheck. Here is paycheck number 1. Now, a couple things I just want to mention. I'm basically going to fly through these because there's nothing weird, there's nothing extra this month. Everything is super basic, and as cool as that is, sometimes those seem to be the months that end up getting the most messed up throughout the month. Fingers crossed that's not the case here. I also wanted to mention that we did just have our water heater break. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know all about this. It cost us almost $1,200 before it was all said and done to fix it, and that did come out of our emergency fund. So while I'm still going to funnel any extra we have right now till Christmas, I will then have to go back and start focusing on trying to rebuild that emergency fund as our main financial goal. Let's go ahead and just jump into the budget. So if you remember, we're going to pay everything highlighted in pink, and these are our pink pay dates right here, so you can tell that you're matching it up with the right paycheck. Now I'm estimating my husband's paycheck as $2,100, and I estimate I'm going to take about $175 from my business Sense and Purpose. That gives us a total income of $2,275. The only bills we are worrying about this paycheck, because of the weird way the dates are falling, is going to be our mortgage transfer for $720, paying our donation to our church for $150, and paying our $29 donation to World Vision. Now we're going to move down here. The first paycheck of the month, again, even though this pay period is technically half November, half December, it is still the first paycheck that's covering any of December. So my husband and I do take our personal money. My husband's getting $20, and then the rest of his personal money, the other $50, is going to pay back the money he borrowed. He borrowed it from us, from our savings, to pay that back for some gym equipment that he purchased. I get $0 because being the spender that I am, I spent all my personal money already. Then I'm going to put some money in haircut. That's just our cash envelope for whenever we need our hair done. And I'm going to put $30 in our kids stuff account. That's for whatever comes up that we want to spend on the kids, whether it's just going and getting some treats or paying for sports, whatever. So our total extra expenses this paycheck are $125. Now let's go over all of our spending categories. Cars for $50, clothing for $30, food for $300, fuel for $60, gifts for $50, spontaneous giving for $20, home for $50, $50 for household, $50 for medical, $100 for miscellaneous, and $75 for pets. All of our spending categories totaled up to $835. And I did want to quickly mention our last paycheck of our last budget came in lower than I estimated. That does not happen often, but it does happen every once in a while. So I was not able to make that November bills transfer last paycheck like I had initially planned. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this paycheck. So this $250 will be for our November bills that I transferred to my savings. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can go ahead and watch some of my past budget videos. Like I said, I make one every single month, and I will go ahead and link the budgeting playlist up here in the corner of the screen, and I'll also leave it down below in the description box for you. If you just want to binge on some budget videos, if you're having trouble understanding some things, you can check them all out there. I'm also saving $100 in my Roth IRA that I do each month. So our total savings is $350. And when we come down to the totals, we have total income of $2275. Total expenses, again, that is our bills, our debt or extra expenses, and our spending categories. Those are all our expenses, $1859, and then our savings is $350. So we're going to subtract the expenses and the savings from the income, and that's going to give us a balance of $66. Because our paycheck was less last pay period, as I mentioned, we did go ahead and use the majority of the buffer that was in our checking account. So this $66 is just going to remain in our regular bill paying checking account, as a buffer in case we find ourselves in that situation again. I just have a note here that depending on how his paycheck comes in this month, if it's a lot higher than I estimated, anything extra will go to our emergency fund, but it might go to Christmas. I don't know. It will go to our emergency fund or Christmas. I guess I will just have to wait and see how our Christmas fund is chugging along as I continue to do my shopping over the next couple of weeks. So let's go ahead to the next pay period. Okay, so now we are going to be talking about all of these orange bills that are covered here in these orange pay dates. So for this pay period, I estimated my husband's paycheck as $2,000. So you'll see our mortgage transfer, $720, our cell phone, $198, our internet and cable bill, just about $135, our electric, $50, and our gas, $70. Just a quick note, everything mentioned here except for the mortgage is just estimates based off of last month's bills. None of these bills have been received yet. Once they're received, I'll go ahead and put the actual number here in this actual column. Now you can see I have nothing listed for extra expenses on this pay period. So we'll just focus back up here on the spending categories. And you may notice I've shaved these down quite a bit from the last pay period we just covered. And again, this is because I really want to make sure we have enough money in this paycheck. So cars, $25, clothing, $20, food, $2.50, fuel, $50, gifts, $50, giving, $20, home, $30, household, $40, medical, $20, miscellaneous, $100, and pets, $75, and that totals $680. So when we look here at our totals, again, we're just going to pull our income over. Our total income was $2,000. Then we are going to subtract all of our expenses, which total $1,852.68. And then we're going to subtract our savings, which, as you can see, is also at zero for this paycheck. So minus zero, this is going to give us a balance of $147.32. Now again, if this is where it comes in, I will decide what to do with this $142.32. I may just end up leaving it as a buffer in our checking account. In all honesty, that may be what happens with the $66 balance from the last pay period too. And I'm sorry, I know I'm kind of all over the place here with these balances this month for some reason, but I feel like I have a couple places that I need to send my money right now. And again, when you have a fluctuating income and you're just estimating your income, it does sometimes make it a little bit more difficult to plan because you're not exactly sure what amount of money will be coming in. So if you guys have any questions on this or why I'm being a little wishy-washy here, please feel free to go ahead and leave them in the comment section and I will try to clarify in any way that I can. And remember, if you have not yet done your December budget, now is the time. Sit down, make a plan for your money, and I hope that your plan looks as simple as my plan does for this month. All right, friends, so that was my December budget. I hope you found that easy to understand and easy to follow along. My goal with these budgeting videos is really to break everything down and keep it as simple as possible. I hate overcomplicating things. I think when you try to do all the things when it comes to budgeting, it can lead to overwhelm. And when we're feeling overwhelmed, more than likely, that's when we decide to give up. And I don't want to see you give up. Budgeting is a skill. Budgeting takes a lot of practice, but I promise you it will get easier month after month. Just keep at it. If you liked this video today, again, I would really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up or maybe even sharing it with somebody else who you know might be struggling with budgeting. And while you're at it, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. I have a brand new video every single week, and I would love to see you back here next time. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. Talk to me, baby.